We left Uluru and headed north toward Darwin. We both knew the journey was going to be a long one. With our van almost ready to give up and little to no phone reception the entire route, we held on tight and continued on up through the center of Australia. Every day we drove for miles and miles. It was some of the longest stretch of road we'd ever seen. In these dusty, rust-colored plains, the landscapes are arid and unforgiving. The long roads and wide open spaces makes me feel quite vulnerable. In the afternoons, we'd search for a place to get some rest and recover from the big days spent on the road. Well, this is it. This is almost the end of this trip. I don't really know what to make of it. In a few days, I'm flying out of Australia and I won't be back for a few months. We've done over 120 days on the road on this trip, living in this van. Sometimes I wonder how I've even gotten this far. I don't know if you've ever lived in a van or in a tiny space like this before, but it is not easy, and I feel many emotions about this trip coming to an end. Life lately has felt like a roller coaster. The highs and lows are definitely much more extreme. Some days are the best I've ever had, and then a few days later I just feel so bummed out. I think it's just because everything is much more difficult living this way. So to give you an update of where we're at the moment and how we got here, we are currently 3 hours away from Darwin. We were gonna get there this afternoon, but man, it is so hot, which feels really weird because when we left Uluru 4 days ago, it was the coldest day that we've had of this entire trip yet, and today has probably been the hottest day. So it's really felt like it's been 3 seasons in 3 days. Over the past few days, we've traveled nearly 2,000 kilometers, and we've been sure to keep a close eye on Stella and Zena because, as I mentioned before, we were having some issues with Stella's engine and we were getting pretty nervous because we were in the middle of Australia, and we still are quite remote, even being just 3 hours from Darwin. And the last thing we wanted was to break down in the middle of nowhere. So we're very thankful that Stella got us this far. She's done so well. The last few weeks, every time we'd go to start her up in the morning, she didn't want to start because she really doesn't like the cold and she really doesn't like the wet. So it definitely feels good to be at a place where she's happier. Tomorrow we'll be arriving at our final destination for now, but I just wanted to say thank you so much for following along this journey so far. It's been quite a wild ride, crossing the outback and exploring much of Australia. Here's today's shower. I'm actually just so grateful that there's a shower at all. It was actually really warm.
Well, thanks very much for helping us get out of this mess. I appreciate it a lot.
That's okay. That's what we do. Have a good day, ladies.
Thankfully, Stella made it all the way to Darwin, but as soon as we got here, I don't think she's very happy with us. And now we are currently at this park, broken down. Luckily, we have NRMA coming with a tow truck at the moment, and we are gonna get towed to a caravan park, but it is so hot. And since we've been here, we just have not slept because it's about 80% humidity, and last night it only got to 26 degrees, and that's the low. We were in a caravan park, so we had the door open all night, but I just did not have a good sleep at all, and I'm just feeling so over all of this, to be honest. Yeah, I'm just feeling really upset and annoyed and hot, and I do not do well with the humidity and the heat, and it is all of that here. In all of this, I am very grateful that we broke down here in Darwin and not between Uluru and here or South Australia and here, because it could have been a much worse situation. We knew Stella was struggling towards the end, so this isn't too much of a shock to us, but yeah, I'm just at the end of my straw and I'm very excited to take a break and fly home next week and just have a house and some space to recharge because I really need it.
We can float along the water from the rivers to the sea, go and drift away with the tide. We could sweat all through the summer and the winter we could freeze. I'll be there through it all at your side. So go on, lead the way, I won't be far behind. I'll be right next to you.
We got towed to this caravan park, so luckily we can just stay here until the mechanics have time to fit us in, which isn't for another 10 days. It's grateful to have a place to park, and yeah.
Pretty hard work breaking down, don't you think?
Yep.
It's hard work. I'm tired, Zena's tired. So when we recently broke down here in Darwin, we didn't really know the issues at first, but the problem we first found was our battery was completely dead. This is caused because the alternator's not working, and then we've just found a range of all these other issues. The carbies, regulators and things like that are broken. There's no actual combi mechanics here anymore. Everyone that used to work on these has retired. So Darwin wasn't the greatest place for us to break down. So here we are, we're just going to test everything. We had some nice friends actually come and drop us some of these combi manuals. So we'll take a look at them and see how we go.
It took us a few days to finally feel caught up. Moments in between fixing the van and packing for my upcoming trip, we managed to see a little bit of Darwin. We went to the night markets and caught a few sunsets by the sea. All week there was this sort of haze in the air, making the sunsets fill the sky with beautiful, dramatic burnt orange colors.
Want your cigar? Huh? She smoked herself in the face.
Probably the smallest, cutest one I've ever found. Zena just got so much sand in her eye. She plays this game where we flick the sand, and she just goes straight for the sand every time, hey?
I don't know, I think she's always been obsessed with it ever since she was a puppy.
It's her favorite toy.
Sand is her favourite toy.
It is.
So today marks the end of our 4-month trip.
Yeah, so I'm heading off in 2 days. This week, since the breakdown, we've been parked up at a caravan park. We set up a bell tent and we got a rental car. And it's been alright, but it's been a little bit of a struggle trying to figure out what's wrong with the combi and what steps we're going to take moving forward to fix it all.
I think it's a time to accept the fact that, I mean, this is what we signed up for when we travelled in a 47-year-old car.
I feel like we're both in a little bit of a better place after the breakdown and the week that we had. The first few days when we got here were extremely humid. We could not sleep. We had the van door open and it was just so hot. But then it got quite mild the rest of the week, so it's just been perfect out. I love this weather so much.
Yeah, it's nice.
The caravan park's been pretty good to us. There's a pool, there's a gym, and it's been really relaxing. We're both ready for a bit of a break. I think it's just been a lot for both of us, and we're both feeling a little bit burnt out at this point, 4 months into the trip.
Yeah, we like to take every opportunity to get photos and have experiences of everything we go to. So we've probably been to 20, 25 different destinations. And you just want some time to process it, to really think back on that time and where we've been and the people we've met, and just let it all sink in. I imagine going to another place right now is like overwhelming.
There just has been so many places, and I guess that makes us not appreciate each spot as much as we could.
Yeah.
So moving forward, we've decided that, I mean, we had this idea in our head months ago, but we
Right.
want to try and travel a little bit slower.
So 2 months off, we can reset our goals, we can get refreshed, we can get excited again to be back in the van.
Yeah, because we do really love it, so we don't want to lose that spark that we have for traveling and living in the van.